So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, while watching this episode, a lot of it, I was just like, oh my gosh, we're fighting drunken ninja cats. I was like, yo, is this Samurai Pizza Cats right now or some shit? I was just not really digging this episode. Mainly Itachi himself was the best parts of the episode, but even then, when you have Itachi putting on cat ears and chasing a cat and cutting its whiskers and shit like that, you just start thinking to yourself, what the fuck am I watching? One of the bits early on in the episode that I thought was kind of funny was when he was talking to that, I'm guessing is going to be his girlfriend at some given point, and they were talking about dumplings and shit like that. She was like, yeah, you know, you can have anything you want. What do you want from me? And he stares at her and like there's no clarification, and she's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't give you that. I'm thinking to myself, yo, what was Itachi wanting the pussy? Like, really, Itachi? I mean, shortly after we find out that it was that, you know, he wanted to unlock his Sharingan and shit like that, looking at her having it, but I ain't gonna lie, that was an awkward about 2 to 3 minutes. And if anything that this episode served, it was giving Itachi some development on understanding bonds and friendship and things of that nature, because he got to, you know, bond with them on these missions and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest with you, it was kind of like they were clones of the several teams that we've seen. One of them was the Sakura, one of them was the Naruto, and Itachi was the Sasuke, except not that much of a, you know, asshole. He was just kind of quiet into himself. But the best part of the episode, hands down, was the ending. After he found all that out, we get to see this little flashback of seemingly it was Obito that killed Itachi's Genin team, unless that was like some sort of vision that he had, but like it made sense because shortly after that's when he unlocked his Sharingan because of the pain, you know, he started crying and shit like that. And I'm thinking to myself, that is one of the best additions we've had in these 3 episodes, because it's something that we didn't know. I don't know if it actually conflicts with certain aspects of the canon, because I do remember when Itachi first met Toby, they had a conversation. He was kind of like, oh, you thought you wasn't being noticed, but you was slipping around and shit like that. But he didn't really talk as if he already had, you know, had an encounter with him prior to that. So I'm curious if that conflicts with the continuity of the canon. But aside from that, that moment was really fucking good. Just seeing the flashback of him basically slaughtering Itachi's Genin team, and then him activating the Sharingan right there with his brother. And once again, being a very deep and complex character, Itachi might very well be the most complex character in the Narutoverse. I mean, he's at this point, what, maybe 10, 12, some shit like that? He's very young, and he's contemplating once again, and even looking at his little brother and saying, are you gonna have to go through this pain one day and, you know, get these eyes and shit like that? And he's crying. Like, he was really the most complex character in the Narutoverse. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 here or there that come close, but like, this dude at this age is constantly thinking about life and death and consequences and bonds and friendship and shit like that. Like, Itachi, you were a deep motherfucker. So yeah, with all that being said, a lot of the episode, even though it wasn't really necessarily contributing too much and it kind of felt boring at times and it was just kind of like missed humor, it was meant to kind of understand the bond that he created, Itachi, with these people, and him, you know, getting more development in that aspect. So it was contributing to his character. But I mean, chasing drunken cats and shit like that, I was like, oh my gosh. It was really the end of the episode that made up slightly for the majority of the episode, because if we didn't get that ending, I would have been like, ugh, this was terrible. But I think that might have been filler bits as well, because I know this is all adapted from a novel, so maybe some of that episode was filler up until the end. Either way, I still felt it was a fine episode for the most part. I want to say 6.5 to a 7. Again, like, it just feels like right there. If it wasn't for that ending, it probably would have been like a 3 or a 4, because it was just kind of like, what am I watching? But the ending really just added character development. It showcased that shit with Toby at the time killing the team. I was like, yo, that's insane. And overall, seeing the activation of Itachi with a Sharingan, so good shit there. Again, I want to say 6.5 to a 7. If I'm pushing it because of the development he had, I would say 7.5, but it's somewhere around there between fine and good. Let me know what you thought of the episode though. What did you think about the whole thing of Itachi seeing Obito slaughtering his Genin team? Also, what do you think about him activating the Sharingan? And did you have a kind of scratching head awkward moment when he was talking with that chick and it was like, what is it that you really wanted from her, Itachi? And your overall thoughts. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.